It's day 7 on the Colorado Trail. I am now, I've just started back on trail after a little bit of adventures. So I stopped in, what was the name of the town? Fairplay, right? And the day I arrived in Fairplay, realized I had caught a virus, a stomach bug, whatever. That meant that I had to stay extra days in town until I felt better. And so I've decided, because the part I really want to get to see this time is the Collegiate West, and realized, well, with those extra days I would probably not make it, or maybe make it but not the whole way, which is still a possibility, to be fair. So I've decided, I realized there were buses from Fairhope to Leadville, which was supposed to be my next stop and was 70 miles away from Leadville, from Fairplay, sorry. And so I decided to do that, take a bus, and then start again in Leadville, which means that I did miss about 70 miles of trail, I think it is. But, you know, I don't know how I feel about that, but I know that I really want to see that mountain range. And so, yeah, that's the choice I've made, to miss the 70 miles of trail. If I do make it much faster than expected, then I just flip-flop and go back to Leadville and hike the remaining miles. But to be honest, I don't think that would be the case. I now have only about 9 days left, I think 8 days of my PTO, and so yeah, the focus is now to experience those mountain range. And yeah, it is very dry. There is a fire 30 miles south of me, and I'm going towards it. But in between that, there is Mount Elbert that I would like to try to summit. Possibly Mount Massive as well. So, and there is also apparently snow on the trail. I'm going to stop because I can't breathe. There is also apparently snow on the trail, which means that I will be slow. I just met with a bunch of guys who are doing the Continental Divide Trail, and it merges with the city for a couple of 100 miles. So they're going northbound, which means that they just did what I'm about to do. And they told me that I was going to be slow in going from here to Twin Lakes, where the fire is, because of the snow. So they also submitted Mount Elbert, which is the one I'd like to try, and they said that the conditions were fine, no need to have an ice axe. Micro spikes were enough, which is also the same thing the outfitter told me earlier today when I went there to buy new poles, because apparently I forget them at the bus stop. Which, yeah, was a pity, and I only realized that this morning as I was going to the trail. So yeah, I'm pretty excited about what's coming, hoping that by the time I reach Twin Lakes, the trail will be reopened. Right now it's not looking that great. So the fire started yesterday evening, and they've evacuated people already in the surroundings. And then this morning, mid-morning, the sheriff sent a notice saying that it was stabilized or under control. But like 2 hours later, seemed to have started again, and they sent a notice for pre-evacuation of a way wider perimeter south of the town. So still not where I'm hiking towards. I mean, after I reach the town. So where I am is supposed to be safe. But yeah, so hoping that if I reach in like 2 to 4 days, depending on, you know, how the summiting of the mountains go, the trail will have reopened. But now they're all closed. So it's CZT, CT, and I don't know what other ones are closed south of Twin Lakes. And if that's the case, I'm in a region where it's very complicated, to find transportation now. So I don't know how I will reach where the trails are open again. But I guess that's a problem for future annies if it is, you know. So I figure that out later. In the meantime, I'm excited to be back on trail and to finally have mountain views. Not the case yet. Still very dry. With medium risk today of forest fire, according to the sheriff's department. Yeah. It just sinks in that I'm in the wilderness and that I'm going to be here for a couple of days, that I get to explore this new part, and got me very happy and excited. So I thought I'd just record that feeling. Yeah, just feel so, yeah, eluded, excited, happy, still in the forest, and happy to report because we are above 3,000 meters, which is what, 10,000 something feet, even though it's sunny and there is no wind. It's not as warm as I experienced before, so that's great. I also did check the weather forecast for the next 4 days, and it will go below freezing at night. But I think that I already experienced that before. I just wasn't sure, you know. By the way, I have changed my water filter because, well, I just don't know if it froze or not. I don't know if that's the reason why I got sick, or or if it was a virus, and then the filters doesn't filter viruses. They filter microorganisms and parasites, but not viruses. So like it would filter Giardia, but it wouldn't filter novovirus. That's the name. Anyway, and I doubt it because I remember a night where I was above 3,000 meters, and I didn't really it didn't really sink in. And because it had been so hot during the day, until then I didn't put my filter with me inside my sleeping bag, which is usually something I do, because once the filter freezes, then the water expands, and that basically explodes the fibers inside and makes it not filtering anymore. And I remember that specific night, maybe I think there were 3 nights before I stopped in Fairplay, where I woke up in the middle of the night because I was cold, and then I remember, fuck, my water filter, and it was still in the outside of my pack, in my tent, but like touching the tent wall, and I instantly put it with me in the sleeping bag, but I thought, really hope it didn't freeze and I didn't go below freezing, and I have just no idea, and I think it might, and that would make sense that would be that night, because 3 days later I was sick. So I just met with 2 guys who are also doing the CDT and going northbound. So they just did the part that I'm about to do, and they told me that up like 1 mile from here up to the ridge, like everything above 1,000 feet, 11,000 feet, sorry, is full of snow mushy snow, and sometimes up to mid-thighs, they said. So it's 5:40. To be honest, I've been feeling quite weak, but really wanted to go up to that ridge that is still 4 miles from me. Gosh, it is so beautiful. But now I really don't know. Because if I do that, that means that I commit to go those 4 miles up with a pretty high inclination, ascent, however you say that. And then have to commit to do at least an extra 2 miles to go down. So that's 6 miles. It's 5:30, and I've been slow. I've been feeling super tired, super weak, and it's not the elevation, because my heart rate is great. It's right now at 80. So I've adapted to the altitude, which is really good news. I'm super excited about that. So yeah, I don't know. I'm a bit confused. I will stop here and eat with the mosquitoes. This again, it just is crazy. It really is better in real life. Because I'm hungry and there is water here, so I'm going to prepare dinner and think about what's next. I also, actually, to be honest, don't see where I could camp around here. And yeah, those guys were not like, they didn't seem to think it would be a good idea to attempt to go up that ridge now. So, and they both were doing the CDT, so that means they've been on trail for like, what, a month, 2 months already? I think it starts in New Mexico. Sorry. I think it starts, yeah. So, yeah, I just feel like, I thought I recorded something, but apparently it didn't record. So I don't really know what I was saying, but I just checked on Far Out, the app that I use for the Colorado Trail, and there is no campsite up to the end of my next climb. That is very short. It's about 0.5 miles, but the grade is around 1,000 feet per mile, so it's gruesome. But at the top there is a lake, and at that lake there is campsites, and I think I have to do that because there is simply no campsites around here that I can see, and that's been confirmed by the app. So it's 6. I'm cooking. I'm going to have dinner, and then I'll do the climb. Sunsets at 8:30, and then there is sunlight up to 9. So I should be able to make it. This is really a lovely place to have dinner. I feel very lucky. There is a lot of mosquitoes, but I've put my thing against mosquito that I bought last year in Lapland in Sweden with even crazier mosquitoes than here, and it works very well. So yeah, so the plan is to have dinner and then do that crazy climb up somewhere that way. It is 6:30 and I am back on trail. I will keep my eyes peeled for possible campsites before or during the climb, but all of the messages, all of the comments I've seen made it look like there is none. So yeah, I just hope, I mean, it would be very bad if I'd arrive up at that lake and then there is snow everywhere. So yeah, we'll see. I need to put my camera back in because there is an inundation flooding. Okay, so snow starts here already. I just don't think it's a good idea to do the ascent. If there's already, that's the very beginning of the ascent, so if that's already like this, the lake is probably going to be with snow. And look, this is pretty big, pretty deep. I will try to go up there and see if there is a flat surface. I mean, it will have to do because there is also no sunlight in there. I just don't think it's a good idea. Yeah. Look at this. Oh. Yeah, let's do that. Let's try to find a flat surface. All right, I bushwhacked, and I think that I found a pretty neat campsite. Oh, there is view of the mountain. Ooh, look at this. It looks pretty flat. Yeah, I bushwhacked up a hill and found this place. There are also trees for hanging my earth sack for the bears. So I think that we're doing pretty well. It is beautiful. Beautiful. Yeah, I think this is a good one. Oh, I need first to put this. And it's very muddy, so I really do need it. I hope it's flat enough. Sometimes I just don't realize until I'm trying to lie down and slide away. But I think it's good. Or shall we? Maybe I'll do it that way. Yeah, do it that way. haven't done a lot of miles today. I think I am at my 8 from the trailhead. But I'm actually very proud of myself because, again, I felt still pretty weak. And yeah, I think what I've done is good enough. And I'm so excited about the views I'm starting to get. And I'm also happy that I'm being safe, making what I think are good choices. Wait. I don't remember. Yeah, that's my head, that's my feet. So today I've met more people than I've ever met on trail so far, and it's because I've intersected with the CBT, the Continental Divide Trail, and those guys are already in full-on season. And it's actually very nice to like see those people, but also see people who are doing something a bit different. And also, to be frank, see people who already did what I'm about to do so that I can get a little bit of intel, you know? I'm not all in the dark because for the city I'm very early in the season, and from the comments I see on this app I told you about, far out, I think only 2 people are ahead of me. So, you know, you just don't know how much snow there is. Nothing is really updated online. And if you don't get to town, then it's very complicated to like have an idea of what's happening. Like for example, when I left Denver, everyone I'd meet at the REI or like just like random people would tell me, listen, right now there's so much snow that you need to get snowshoes, you need an ice axe, you need all of those stuff. Trails might even be closed, whatever. And well, that was without taking into account the through hike thing, which is okay, but I'm going to hit those altitudes only in 10 days from now. So it's like very complicated to gauge exactly what you need and like to buy at the outfitter. The guy was telling me that he will need an ice axe for Albert from the feedback he got from people who just did the trail. So, you know, would have I listened to people in Denver when I was about to leave the trip for the trail who were super concerned about my safety and the snow, none of that, when I would have carried snowshoes, an ice axe, and also spend extra money in the hundreds for no reason. So yeah, just like nice to have people, so much stones on this, just nice to have people ahead of me, well not ahead, like who just did what I've done, and that reassures me on what's ahead. Look at this beauty. The sun is about to set behind the mountain there. So many mosquitoes. Crazy. I didn't think I had that many mosquitoes already, because well, the ice barely melted, right? The snow. So I really thought they'd come like in 2 weeks. A bit disappointed. I haven't had rain so far, which is also surprising for the season. For it to be June, you are told to usually prepare for a rainstorm a day. Somehow, somewhat short, but like every day. And so far I didn't really get any. Well, I had a bit of snow today, but of rain, but like 30 minutes and then it passed. And really I wasn't more wet than when I'm sweating. Still. Yeah, dried up pretty fast. And now the last part. Stone again. Stone everywhere. Let's see if it's better. No, worse. Worse. Ah, here it's better. Okay. We're set. Oh. Excited for tonight. Really like this campsite. Honestly, I've been super lucky with the campsite so far. I thought you would believe it. So, yeah. Have a good evening.